starting with our MLB panel consisting of DraftKings contributors Nick Friar, Stan Sun, and Kenny Ducey. We are price checking, gentlemen, starting in the pitching department. So who do you like at 8K or higher, Kenny?
I really like Steven Matz. I don't know if that's going to be a surprise to some people because he, basically has not been a great pitcher over his entire career. And also you have to consider the fact that he has blow-up potential. So you can always, just catch him on a clunker. But so far, so good this year, the 1.46 ERA. He's been pretty solid. And honestly, I don't love a lot of the matchups. Like a lot of the high-priced pitchers here have to go against good lineups. So I land on Matz here because when you look at the Kansas City Royals, they are last in the league in hard hit balls per swing at 11.6%. They've shown some promise, especially against lefties, but overall, I'm not ready to trust their lineup yet. And Steven Matz has been pitching so well. 9 strikeouts 2 times ago against the Texas Rangers. He's showing the strikeout stuff. He appears to be a little rejuvenated here in his new home. So I don't hate it here. And I think if you're going to pay up, I'm not going to go attack like the San Diego Padres offense, for example. I'm attacking the Kansas City Royals.
All right, Sam, what about you, dude? You got about 8 options here.
I'm with Kenny. I'm not enamored with the high, the playing way up at pitcher today. I actually like 3 pitchers below 8,500. The guy that I'm going to go with is Anthony DeSclafani at 8,100. He's pitching against Miami. So far in 2 starts, he's allowed 1 earned run, struck out 12 in 11 innings. Granted, one of those games was against the Rockies, away from Coors, but the other one was against a pretty potent Padres lineup. The swinging strike rate has been 14.4%. Now, the BABIP and the left on base percentage has been a little elevated. So, he's benefited from some luck, but the FIP is 2.05. The Marlins over the past year, they're 8th in strikeouts and 30th in ISO against right-handed pitching.
All right, Nick, that leaves you, buddy. Need a pitcher you like at 8K or higher.
Well, I was thinking actually about Steven Matz earlier in the day, and then DeSclafani, I am going to get in on some of that action a little bit later on, but not for this right now. I'm going to go with Max Scherzer, and look, I know what the Diamondbacks did last night, but that's against Patrick Corbin, and he's, we'll say, fallen off a bit. We'll put it nicely today. But he's also a lefty. And the Diamondbacks strike out 7th most against righties so far, and their power numbers take a dip as well. And as far as Scherzer goes, look, he had that bounce back game against the Dodgers after a brutal opening day, and his swing strike percentage is up to 17.7% so far this year. Okay, so now Stan, who's your hitter over 5K, dude?
Yeah, I'm going Matt Olson, 4,400. I want to pick on Jose Urena and the Detroit Tigers bullpen today. He homered last night. He has a ton of swing and miss to his game, 26.4% against righties. But over his career, he's a 276 ISO against them. Urena in his career against lefties, 4.87 K per 9, 12.3 strikeout rate, 5.49 FIP, 1.47 home run per night. And that's, he's definitely gettable. Once he's out of the game, I mean, the Detroit bullpen, I mean, they posted the 5th highest FIP over the past year.
Nick, what do you got?
I think Nelson Cruz is almost too obvious of a play tonight at 5.4K. There's a lot of high-priced bats out there right now, and in the outfield too. And I mean, JD Martinez is a guy out there that I look at, but with Cruz, he demolishes lefties. And start this year has been no exception. And then he's facing Andrew Heaney tonight over with the Angels. 17 at bats against Heaney in his career. 3 home runs, 1.192, I think, OPS. So I think this is a lock for me. No questions asked.
All right, Kenny, your hitter over 5K that you love.
When Nick and I agree, it's going to be a good pick. Yeah, I love Nelson Cruz. I am enamored with Nelson Cruz at $5,400, a 964 OPS against lefties in his career, which is a .117 upgrade over against right-handed pitchers. Nick mentioned that he smashes lefties, and Heaney has a 64 ERA plus this year, which signifies that he's been well below league average. Now, he has a little bit of talent, right? So now I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe Nelson Cruz, he's had like a couple of good games this year. Maybe I don't want to trust him. Then you look at the fact Nelson Cruz has 3 homers in 17 at-bats against Andrew Heaney, a 395 xWOBA. He's owned Heaney in the past. He's owned left-handed pitching. And he's shown you this year that he is not washed, that he can still go for multi-home run games. He can still bang it out of the ballpark. So give me Nelson Cruz there at $5,400 on against the lefty. It's a smash spot for me.
All right, I need a dude swinging the wood in the 4 to 5K range, Nick. So be a man of the people and deliver the goods.
Of course. I'm going to go with Alex Verdugo, and he's right at 4K, so he's on the cheaper side of this. He's going against Dylan Cease, who, lefties have hit him much better throughout his career. And look, the Red Sox are hot right now. So I got to get a piece of this a little bit, at least. And with Verdugo, he's been hitting really well. His power is starting to come along too. He had a double last game, home run game before. And all around, he hits right. He's much better. 926 OPS versus 625.
Yeah, had a hell of a series against the Twins. Kenny, what do you got? 4 to 5K range. Need a bat.
Yeah, I'm not ready to trust Mike Foltynewicz yet. He had a good start last time out. That's great. Congratulations, Folty. You didn't suck for once. But over the course of the past 2 years, this guy's been absolutely dreadful. I like Cedric Mullins at $4,200. It's going to be hitting right at the top of this Orioles lineup. He's hitting .391 on the year, an average exit velocity of 90.4 miles an hour. And I mentioned Foltynewicz, a 4.69 xERA this year. He had a 9.25 expected ERA last year. This guy has been garbage. He does not deserve to be in the major leagues. I think the Orioles, who showed you yesterday that they can hit, at least for like a couple innings, they've shown you all year they can hit as well. Cedric Mullins right at the top of this lineup is going to get all the opportunities in the world. He's got the splits advantage as well. I like him against Mike Foltynewicz here, $4,200, well too cheap for me.
All right, Stan, bring us home in the 4 to 5K range.
All right, I wanted to apologize. I actually time traveled a little bit here because my last, hitter, I put Matt Olson at 4,400, and when I was supposed to give my hitter over 5K, I think I'm just excited because I'm on the segment with Kenny and Nick, so got a little excited there. Let me just rewind a little bit. My guy is Nelson Cruz at the over 5K as well, so we got the trifecta. My hitter in the 4 to 5K range is Matt Olson, 4,400. I went over him earlier, so I don't think there's any need for me to, go over that again.
Okay. Sounds good, man. We forgive you. Kenny, your top value pack.
I'm going to go attack my man, Frankie Montas, who absolutely stinks, Emerson. This guy is so bad. He has a 6.26 expected ERA so far this year. Last year, he didn't strike out anybody. He had a walk rate that was nearly 10, a 5.6 ERA. He's not good, guys. So just fade Frankie Montas whenever he pitches. And the spot I like today, of course, it just lands on my favorite, Detroit Tigers. I think there's a whole host of options you could go here. You could go with Akil Baddoo at $3,500, hitting the ball really well. I've landed on Nico Goodrum here at $3,100. Now, he also plays second and shortstop, so he's got the dual position eligibility. He'll help you out a little bit building your lineup. You can build around him. He's got a 162 WRC plus against righties so far this year. He hit second in the last game. It was against a lefty, but still, they've shown that they want to put him up at the top of the order or near there anyway. He is one of their better hitters. He is one of their more experienced hitters. I like Nico Goodrum. He's had a few good games this year. I think another one comes tonight. I think the Detroit Tigers beat up right here on Frankie Montas.
Stan, value bat, buddy.
Seth Brown, 2,700, Oakland Athletics. Like I said, I want to pick on Urena and the Detroit Tigers bullpen. In AAA 2 years ago, he had 37 home runs. He only has 103 total appearances in the majors. He has a ton of swing and miss to his game. 35% strikeout rate and only 20 plate appearances. That number was in the mid to high 20s in the minors. He already has 2 homers on the season, and against right-handed pitching, he has a career 217 career ISO.
All right, Nick, value bat, bud.
Got to go with Colin Moran at 3.5K going against Adrian Hauser. Hauser isn't good against lefties. Moran is hitting righties to start the year off well. And then they've faced each other only 9 times throughout their careers. But Moran has 6 hits against him, only 1 extra base hit. So combine how they're doing recently and how they've done against each other in the past, I think Moran is a nice cheap one for you at 3.5K. I still like Josh Bell tonight. I do want to mention that he did all right last night. He's starting to build up a little head of steam, but he's a little bit more expensive. And I think that Moran just sets up a much safer pick here.
All right, from bats here to bets. Stan, need your favorite MLB bet on the DraftKings Sportsbook.
All right, I think me and Kenny are battling tonight because I love the A's. Yeah, I love the A's. It's like they got the offense, defense, special teams, coach, everything. The favorite by 1.5. Kenny alluded to Montas being terrible. He's had a rough start, but, the bat business has been elevated at 407. The left on base percentage is only at 65.8%. he's still missing bats. The swinging strike rate is still at 11.6%, which is in line with the last few years. Detroit, they're first in strikeouts and 20th in ISO against right-handed pitching. And I already went over, two of the bats that I went over in the segment are from the A's. So I really like them a lot. I mean, Detroit, they got Akil Badudu, which scares me. He's hit 3 home runs. If he hit 3 home runs, like, I wouldn't bat an eye. But I just like everything about this, the A's in this matchup.
Nick, what catches your eye on the DraftKings Sportsbook in the MLB department?
Anthony DeSclafani's strikeout prop. I'm going over 5.5K at plus money. Last I checked against the Marlins, look, they're middle of the pack in strikeouts versus lefties. But when I looked at what DeSclafani did against the Padres, he got 4 Ks in a shorter outing, and they're much better than Miami in that department. His swinging strike percentage is at 14.4% to start the season. So I feel like I feel pretty comfortable going in at over 5.5K, especially at plus money.
Kenny, talk to me.
You're going to disco. I love it, Nick. That's we were talking about music last night. I love disco music. I like the over in the Detroit-Oakland game. It's 8.5. I laid out why Frankie Montas is bad. Stan mentioned that his BABIP is high. The reason a high percentage of his balls put in play are going for hits is because he's allowed 5 barrels. He's giving up a hard hit balls at 45%. I mean, if you give up 45% of your balls off the bat at 95 miles an hour or more, they're likely going to land in for hits. He's been getting shelled this year. Jose Urena, Stan laid out that how bad he is as well. And the A's lineup raked last night. They can rake against bad righties. So I like both of these teams to score a decent amount of runs. I think that the Tigers score at least 3 runs to get you almost halfway there. And then the A's should absolutely beat up on the Tigers pitching. So I like the over 8.5 here. I think it is a little too low. I would make this 9 runs, maybe even 9.5. I just think the books are giving Frankie Montas a little too much credit here for what he's done. By the way, the A's have lost 3 of the last 5 games Montas has pitched in.